From Kelly, and then Ryan, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Good morning again. Thanks for being available. I know this is the third day in a row. For most of you, very proud day for the organization. Very pleased to be able to introduce Ryan Craig as the head coach of the hockey club. I've had a long relationship with Ryan. It's amazing the text messages I've got in the last day from former teammates, people that have been associated with him. Everybody knew this day was going to come for Ryan. He's been in our organization for 9 years. He was an NHL player for 200 games. He was in the American League for a large part of his career. I always marveled at the fact he was an American Hockey League captain for 9 different seasons, which just speaks to the leadership that he has. I've known him since he was 15 years old. He played 5 years in our organization. I've seen firsthand, what he does to people around him, how he treats people. I've said to him many times, Craig, you're going to be a really good NHL head coach if you're not in a hurry, and you need to do it in the proper steps. And he's done exactly that. He was a really important part of our staff that won the Stanley Cup, 6 years in our organization as an assistant coach under 3 real good head coaches, good experience for him there. Then, for me, the real important step was to get head coaching experience himself, and he was able to go down to Henderson with our organization and get 3 years in Henderson, and his time is now. And that's the one thing that I want to say this morning. Our organization from day one have always tried to hire the best people for their jobs, whether it's our players, whether it's coaches. We've always hired the best available coach, and that's exactly what we're doing today. We're hiring the best available coach that's going to lead our organization. Really happy for JD and Carson, Kylie, and Cameron. Congratulations to you guys as well. Congratulations to Ryan, and really looking forward to working with him. We'll keep our standards as they've always been, and Ryan will lead our team.
Thanks, Kelly. It's a great day for myself, my family. I'd like to start by acknowledging my family. In this business, you don't reach these points or are able to do this without your family. My wife, JD, the kids, Carson, Kylie, and Cameron, are love, support, and sacrifice is what goes into it. And that just wanted to start with them because this doesn't happen without them. So obviously I'd like to thank Bill, George, and Kelly for the opportunity. I'm ready. I believe I'm ready for this. I've had the pleasure to be in the organization for 9 years. It's been a privilege to work with the guys that I've been able to work with and have mentored me. Starting with Gerard Gallant, Mike Kelly, Ryan McGill, through to Steve Spott and Pete DeBoer, Bruce Cassidy, Misha Donskov, and a number of others. And those guys, it's important that I acknowledge them because they've helped lay the groundwork for me to get to where I am today. Tim Speltz and the rest of the HSK staff, the past 3 years, my experience with them has not only led me to this part, but has allowed me to grow in a chair that it's important that you sit in. I believe, and the organization has believed in our conversations before you reach the goal of the NHL head coach. Other than that, I'm ready for this opportunity. I'm grateful for it. I'm ready to get to work. I feel that we have a very, very good hockey team in a very, very good city. We have a ton of good people in the organization, a ton of good hockey players. One of them is here today, Mark Stone. Mark, I appreciate you for being here. I've been here 9 years. I understand the standards and the culture of this organization, and I'm proud to lead it and represent it. Last thing I will say is my family 9 years ago came here to the city of Las Vegas. We've been embraced. We call this place home. And I'm very, very proud to represent not only the Golden Knights, but the city of Las Vegas. Thank you.
Guys, we'll open up to questions, starting in the front with Danny.
Ryan, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Question for both of you, if I can. Kelly, we'll start with you. Just can you elaborate more on the familiarity with Ryan and the organization, just how much easy that makes this transition for Ryan being a first-year coach? And Ryan, if you can kind of elaborate further, just why now do you feel you're ready for this challenge?
Yeah, I think it sure helps that he's been in our organization just in terms of the familiarity with, still a number of players that were part of the teams that Ryan was on with the Golden Knights. relationships with George, myself, hockey operations, analytics people. He's had time with all of those people over the years. And, even just logistics, he's going to be in the same city and all of those things that help. But, that for me makes it pretty seamless. And, it's a matter of doing it now at the next level for him.
As for why I'm ready, I'm prepared. I think 9 years of doing this. Even the last half of my career, I was hoping and planning to be a coach. I talked about when I went to join the Pittsburgh organization and working with John Hines, who was a young head coach. I started to keep a journal and built that through as I went through my experiences, things I liked as a player, but through the eyes of a coach. I was able to play for different coaches from that on, including Jared Bednar when we won in Cleveland. So, and then to work with the guys that I acknowledged earlier through 9 years here and the people, I'm supported, I'm prepared, and I'm ready. That's why I feel it's time is now.
So go Ed and Paul.
Ryan, you've obviously worked with a lot of the guys you're going to coach already. The room is described as a veteran room, great leadership. They kind of they can police themselves. What is the difference about a head coach, first-time head coach, approaching that room compared to guys you're trying to teach how to be pros?
Well, this is a unique situation in the sense of I am a first-time head coach, but I do know a lot of people in the room. I've won with the guys in the room. So there's a relationship there that was obviously on a different chair as an assistant coach on Bruce's staff. But I believe that there didn't mean that because I was an assistant coach, there wasn't tough conversations had. There wasn't accountability held by myself with those guys to the standards. So I'm in a different chair now, but I do know that those guys in the room, there's a level of respect I believe between all of us, and there's also shared goal in the sense of trying to win a Stanley Cup.
If I could add to that, Ed, I really felt when Ryan was an assistant coach with our team, he was so professional and all business. So he wasn't the assistant coach that was, just one of the guys and playing that role. He had the respect of being a former player, but he makes the comment he's been preparing for this for a long time. I really felt when he was an assistant here that he really was professional how he handled his relationships with the players.
So go Paul, Mark, Jesse.
Kelly, like most times when a first-time head coach, they walk into a room that's probably a lot of player development. For this room, it's kind of the opposite. How big is it for Ryan to have that experienced room to kind of lead him through the ups and downs of being a first-time head coach in the NHL?
Well, there's ups and downs every year for every coach, right? So we'll have some this year as well. But, I think Ryan's leadership for me has always been just elite. And I think that he's going to, he'll manage those situations. He'll, work with his leadership group in the dressing room. And I don't anticipate that it'll be any different for him than what he's dealt with the last 3 years or what he dealt with his 6 years with our team.
Ryan, what did you learn as being a head coach in Henderson that should help you here?
Well, you sit in that head coach chair. I think I've used a quote over the last 3 years from Sean McVay is, you become the thermostat. You control the temperature of the room, hot, cold, messaging. I believe that that's the one thing until you sit in that chair you haven't experienced. As an assistant coach, you can throw ideas. You worry about the area that you're worried about or in charge of, such as penalty kill, power play, whatever it may be. As a head guy, you go to bed every night thinking about what the message is, and you wake up thinking about what the message is and what your team needs and what individuals need. And until you experience that, I believe that's foreign to you. You have to live it. You have to go to bed at night or after a game and what does our team need the next morning? What is my message going to be to them at 10 o'clock when we reconvene? Do they need video? All those kind of things that go into it. And that's why you surround yourself with good people that support you. But the final decision still comes down to yourself.
And it's why, every NHL head coach prior to becoming an NHL head coach needs that head coaching experience somewhere, whether that's major junior, whether that's the American Hockey League, NCAA. They need that experience of having made those decisions. Making the final decision is different than being a contributor, and that's that's why Ryan needed to go experience that.
Let's go Jesse, then Ron, Alexa.
For Kelly, what's the plan for the assistant coaching staff? Are they all coming back, or are you still figuring that out?
We're just going through that now. We've obviously season just ended. We've had a lot of things that we've been dealing with, so getting Ryan in place was important to us to take care of that, and that'll be the next order of business for Ryan.
And for Ryan, obviously down in the AHL, you're kind of mimicking the systems of the NHL, so the guys are prepared. How different do you expect those systems to look, and how exciting is that for you to kind of be able to put your own fingerprint on that?
Well, it's exciting. I believe in what we're doing here. The players, I believe in it. They came 2 games away from winning the Stanley Cup. So there'll be a few tweaks that happen, and I'll get into that as I dig into our team throughout the summer. It's a unique situation in the sense of 4 days ago, these guys were competing for a Stanley Cup. And what John Tortorella and his staff did over the last 70-plus days was amazing. To get within two wins of the Stanley Cup, you're that close. And there's a lot of good things that they did here. And John said that when he came in, he tweaked a couple things, and that was it. And in 23, we won with similar systems. So I've coached it, I've lived it. In Henderson, we ran similar systems. Our players know it. They believe in it. So there's going to be a seamlessness in that transition. There will be some tweaks, but I'm excited to get with the group and put my stamp on them while continuing what's been built here over the last few years.
Congratulations, Coach and Kelly. And I wondered what the realistic expectations are going to be for you as a rookie coach. You mentioned the coaches that have been here before. They've all been highly successful, all winning records, going deep in the cup, but they're not here anymore. What specifically do you think for both of you, the expectations? I know you're going to say win a Stanley Cup. I get that. That's part of it. But your thoughts on the expectations for this upcoming season?
You don't get the chance to win the Stanley Cup on day one. You have to build your team. And this team's been built through standards since day one. And those standards aren't going to change. You talked about winning the Stanley Cup or competing for the Stanley Cup. That's the standard that is in this organization. As for expectations, we're going to go about our business day in and day out with the goal in mind to continue to build, stack, get better each and every day so that we have an opportunity when the calendar flips in mid-April to compete for the trophy.
Congratulations, Coach. If you could think of a non-negotiable attribute that you want in your locker room, what would that be? And then for Kelly, you said you saw potential in him for so long. What was that one attribute that you were waiting to see that you think he's now grown into?
I'll start. Just the experience needed, right? He played a long time, and then he became a coach 9 years ago. And I just think the importance of the experience to be ready. You want to have a coach that's prepared for success, not failure. And he made the comment earlier that he knows that he's ready to be a head coach. We feel the same way. And in terms of the attributes, the leadership, the character, the mind for the game. I've talked hockey with Ryan for many years. I know how he understands it. He touched on the fact that through his playing career, he began to envision himself being a coach when he was done. I think that was valuable for him. It's a thought of it as he was saying that. In September, we have a series of meetings where all of the NHL head coaches attend, all of the NHL general managers attend. It's a couple of days that we do in September before the training camp starts. So, for me, I have interactions with general managers regularly, but I don't have regular interactions with head coaches, unless you bump into them when you're playing. But in that setting, the 32 NHL head coaches were there. It was amazing how many guys came and talked to me about Ryan Craig, and just the regard he has, the respect he has. It's not just Kelly McCrimmon that feels the way that I do about Ryan Craig. I think it's a lot of people in the industry know everything about who Ryan Craig is.
Competitiveness. That's what we want. That's what we have. That's not what we want. That's what we have. The people that are brought in to this organization love to compete. And that will drive our team in practice. That drives our team in games. And it makes a team. That's what it does. And this locker room here is full of leaders. It's full of guys that have gone through the grind of seasons, the grind of Stanley Cup runs, and have had success. And there's one common denominator, is they're competitive people. And they like to win. And that's what we need, and that's what we want.
Dave.
Ryan, back here, congratulations. JD, do you have any questions? No, you're good. Okay.
Oh, God.
Ryan, you played for a lot of coaches. You've been around a lot of coaches. Who do you draw from the most as you move on to this next chapter in your career, do you think?
Well, I think my first NHL coach was John Tortorella. And Torts and I have a great relationship, a relationship that's continued to grow as I've gotten to the coaching fraternity. Grew again as I was around here during the playoffs. A man that gave me my first opportunity to play at the NHL, a level that everybody dreams of getting to. When I look at guys that I've played for as I went through the American leagues, one guy is Jared Bednar in Colorado, who we won a Calder Cup together in Cleveland in 2016, 10 years ago. The influence and the longevity that he's shown in Colorado is something I strive for. Guys of John Hines I've played for, Brad Larson, different coaches along the way that have helped influence and shape who I am, and I am proud to call mentors and friends.
Go back to Danny, then Derek, then Paul.
Kelly, to kind of piggyback off Jesse's question about the assistant coaches, as far as Ryan's replacement goes, do you see a situation where you could probably promote from within the organization? Is that something that's possibly on the table?
We'll look at that, Danny, and again, those are things that we're fully engaged on already since we've made the decision with Ryan, but we're working on that right away.
And Ryan, I'm curious, kind of an on-ice aspect, when you were an assistant here, one of the things that was a big sticking point was face-offs, and obviously that was why Chandler Stevenson was so good in 23, Jack was really good in 23. It was a bit of a struggle in the Cup final for this group, was face-offs. How important is that to kind of get back to basics as far as winning the draws, things of that nature, and establishing that part of the game?
Well, face-offs are important. I believe in the details of the game. Face-offs are a part of that. It's one of the only structured things that when the puck is dropped and you're set. And they had a plan here for that, and we'll continue to have a plan for that. What I can bring is some experience in the face-off circle, but they have good people here. They had good coaches here that work through it. The other team has good players and coaches in the dot as well. So my face-off philosophy is we'll have a plan when we win it. We'll have a plan when we lose it. Our centers will be prepared, but we'll also be in the point of it's one play in the game that we'll be ready for. We'll react and move off of that.
First of all, Coach, congratulations again. Kind of going off of what Kelly just said, if/when the players from Henderson are ready to make the jump to the NHL lineup, how will your prior experience with them help create a seamless transition?
Well, I have a relationship with those guys. That would be the main thing, is they know who I am, my expectations. But I do have that with a lot of guys in this locker room too. There's a lot of good people in Henderson, a lot of good players in Henderson. We've built over 3 years continually to get better. Some of those guys that we're talking about have been there for 3 years. Others have been 1 or 2. So there's a lot of guys that are pushing, as we did our exit interviews in Henderson this year, pushing and knocking on the door. Their job is to make our decisions hard and push and continue to grow their game, develop their game, while being where their feet are, no different than a coach or anybody else in this organization.
Ryan, you mentioned a journal that you started way when you wanted to start the journey to becoming a head coach. For you, what was the kind of the reflection from the starting point? Like, what was the biggest things that you felt you had to work on when you started your journey to how far, like what is left for you to kind of like reflect on and improve now at this level?
Well, when the journey started, I was still putting on my 2 knee braces and my gear, I guess, to play then. But as I grew into and decided that it was time to step away from playing and was afforded the opportunity and privilege to come here to Vegas, I think what you learn is what goes into the day-to-day of being a coach at a high level, the preparation that goes into that. Not that I wasn't sure, but until you live it, you have to live it. How to empower the people around you and work with them. I was fortunate enough to be given that by the guys I work for. And then it's a matter of the communication. How do you deliver the message? When to deliver the message, not let things fester, hold people accountable. All those things that, for me, I've had a front row seat to sit and watch guys handle their business. And now I've seen a lot of situations. I've lived a lot of situations. There's going to be new situations for me, but my job is to approach them with honesty and communicate what needs to be communicated to when the time is right.
Take last call for questions. Thanks. Go back to Ron.
Just for Kelly, looking back 9 years ago, did you picture something like this happening with Ryan? I'm not going to go back to when you were 15 and first saw him and expected it then, but at this point, did you go, wait a minute, this guy's going to be head coaching material for us at some point? If not, then when did it you start seriously going?
Well, if you go back 9 years, there's a number of things that we didn't think were going to happen, right? It's been quite a journey. I've used the term Krager's been 40 as long as I've known him. I just thought he had that presence and that air about him with people. He respects people. He commands respect. He's a special guy. He played the Calder Cup. They won the Calder Cup in 2016, I believe. 2017. 2016. And we turned him into a coach, our first year. So he went right from playing to coaching, obviously with my blessing at that time because of my history with him. But I'm not surprised at all that he is a head coach. You don't know the timetable. And I said it earlier in my comments, but I also said it to Ryan many times, just needed to do it the right way, needed the steps. So no different than, some players need to make sure they play 2 or 3 years in the American League. Mark Stone started in the American Hockey League. You find that hard to believe, when you think about it, right? But that's what he needed. That's what, that was what was important for me, for any coach. And, you look at some of the guys that, I look at, John Cooper in Tampa. He coached in the American Hockey League. He's been the coach there for many years. Ryan mentions Jared Bednar. So that's what Ryan needed. And then I guess as we sort of, got further into it, when was going to be the stepping off point where he needed to go get that head experience, right? So was that going to be after his 3rd year? I think we talked about it sort of as one of his contracts was ending and we put him on to his next one. When's the right time for that opportunity? And after we won here, it just seemed like the perfect time for him to go be a head coach. So, by that point, no, I'm not surprised at all. And, we're fortunate we've been able to develop our own head coach. That's not very common, quite frankly. And we're glad that we've been able to, keep him in our organization and have him lead our team.
Last few. Next we'll go Ryan, then Taylor.
Hey, Ryan, congratulations. You mentioned some of the coaches that you played for, and you had 3 really good coaches that you worked with here in Gerard Gallant, Pete DeBoer, Bruce Cassidy. What are some of the lessons and traits you picked up from those 3?
Well, I think one of the things that you see is the honesty that comes with it, the position, the communication, the relationship building. Each guy was different in how they did that and handled that. There's obviously the hockey part, the bench, the acumen that goes into that. Each guy was different in the way he handled the day-to-day, whether it was anything from meetings to practice to video. So my job is to be Ryan Craig, but you also have to take pieces and things that you've learned along the way with all those guys that I've worked with. And then you implement those if you believe in them, or you make a different decision. And with those guys, the one thing that never happened was there was always accountability and things never festered. They didn't let things drag out. Things were, we take care of our business and then we move on to the next thing, because this game is too hard and it drags too, physically and emotionally, to waste time on anything else when you need to get ahead and get on to the next thing. And I think that's what I learned from those guys. Face any problems or dilemmas that you have to have, let's correct it, whether it's with your team or an individual player. We get to it, and then let's move on, and we're worried about winning hockey games.
Taylor.
Obviously, Mark Stone here, you've battled with a lot of these guys before, which is a really unique experience. What are you most looking forward to being on the ice with them again and just creating that competitive culture?
Well, when you say we've battled with them, the players are the guys that battle. They're the ones that put in the work. They're the ones that go to battle, as you say, each and every night, and sacrifice that way. My job is to provide structure, instill belief, provide energy, and push these guys to reach their highest level as individuals and as a team. And that's where my job comes in. My job isn't, when the puck drops, is the battle, but my job is to put these guys in a position to play to their strengths, to execute at the highest level they possibly can, and then to ultimately succeed. And that's what the players do, and it's always going to be about the players in that sense. That's not going to change, but my job as a coach is to help guide them and facilitate that for them.
Last question today will come from Alexa.
Hi, Coach. I just loved your opening statement about your family and what that means to you. You're now starting this new chapter in your life, so people who want to know who Ryan Craig is as a person, as a coach, how would you describe that?
Well, I think my family, starting with my wife and kids, my parents, our extended family, that represents who I am. That's the easiest way I can say it. Very, very proud of my family. Yeah, you can hear my voice changes a little bit when I talk about them, but that's who I am, is my family, from, like I said, my wife and kids all the way through my parents, my brother, my in-laws, my extended family. Everybody is, that's who I am.
Ryan, Kelly, thanks for the time today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.